Yo, this is Eternal Play Xenogears! We are in Nissan, Margie's home, and everything seems to be nice and dandy. But you obviously know that things are going on with Gebler, with Ellie backing with Gebler, and now it's time for us to get to know more about what happened also last time, because we saw Citan and Sigurd talk about Gebler and Ramsus and Solaris, and obviously they know a lot of things that we don't know that maybe they should tell us, because I think it's time now they tell us more about who they are and where they're actually from, because I don't think they are from Aveh or from Lahan. I think they are from somewhere else, and we know they are. It's time for them to tell us face to face. Let us get to know more about the two. So we're now running back again, and then... Ah! Young master! It's Mason. The people of the Psalm were most generous to allow us to rent this house, so there will be no need to seek lodgings at the inn for a while. Also, Master Sigurd wished a word with you regarding your next move, if you may. Alright, so where's Sig? The good Master Sigurd is waiting for you inside. Okay, thanks, Mason. So let's go inside and let's get to know more about what we're gonna do next. Whenever I come here, it always calms my heart. Anyway, young master, I want to work on what your plans from here on are. Alright, but before we do that, there's something I want to ask you. Me? Yeah. Time to reveal some stuff. Sig, what's up with you and that Gebler officer? What's the connection between you and him? You know, you sure know a lot about Gebler for some reason. Tom gives his nod. Alright, I'll tell you. Me and Citan here, we used to live in Solaris. Solaris? You mean where Gebler's from? That's right. Solaris calls foreigners lamps. They're used as manual labor. Basically, it's slavery. Slavery? Is that where you met him? Yes, it was there. We worked for the Solaris government for a short while, but we learned to dislike their methods and escaped the first chance we had. You were friends with these people? I met you when I was a kid, and we've been together ever since then. This would have happened before then. I probably wouldn't have understood this if I heard it earlier, but why didn't you think you could deal with it now? Surely you could have told me about this, especially when you had something to do with the people who were backing that Shakan idiot. I wish you told me sooner. There's nothing to do about that now. But there's one thing I want to tell you to believe. We left Solaris on our own will and for our own reasons. Now they appear before us, we can't just sit back and do nothing. If need be, I'll give them my life to stop them. Alright, I understand. But can you elaborate a little more? And now, the music gets tense, because we just got revealed stuff. And we have a lot of stuff. This is the 4 questions we're going to ask. First question, where is Solaris? What bugs me is this surface dweller thing? It's as if Solaris is another location like up in the clouds or something. Yes, well... Etronac, the capital of the Solaris Empire, is located in the skies above. Solaris is separated from the land by a dimensional distortion field known as gates. Passing between the two requires special means of transportation, such as an airship. To get to Aveh, we stowed away on a regular flight to the surface. I came much later than Sigurd did, but I also escaped in the same way. Okay, but what are lamps? That is the word Solaris used to indicate whose live on the earth. As I said before, such surface dwellers or earth dwellers are used for manual labor there. Manual labor could be anything from soldiers to administrative jobs. Solaris gathers its workforce from the land dwellers. Jobs are divided up by who is most suitable. Sometimes people are brainwashed. Brainwashed? When you, young master, were still an infant, I was used as a test subject. There was probably something they valued inside of me. You too, Doc? No. I was born in the lower city levels. It's not a complete secret, but I guess I'm a Solarian. You see, you still need people to run a country. No matter how scientifically advanced you are, you have no support without people. Pure Solarians are rare. They will not even make up a quarter of Aveh's total population, so they support the country by stealing surface dwellers. That's pretty insane. But who is that man? Who is that Ramsus guy? His name is Karan Ramsus. As you know, he's the Gebler commander. Ramsus? We call him Kar. In Solaris, there's an officer training school called Jugend. And yes, for those of you who know World War II, Jugend is also the sort of brainwashing Nazi training school for military. So they use the same name, which is kind of controversial, but then again, this game is all about controversy. He became the commander after leaving there. He's a lower level citizen, the same as me. However, with his amazing abilities, after graduating, he rose up to the ranks with unparalleled speed. That man had one ideal: to achieve a consolidation of all his colleagues. Even land dwellers, if they had talent, were brought into the army. So you two were picked by Ramsus? No, you're not picked by him. We aligned ourselves with him. At that time, we agreed with him. At that time, Ramsus was our hope. He had high ideals and wanted to change the system in Solaris. To us test subjects and lower-level citizens, he was truly all that we wished for. A benefactor? Yes. Even I, a test subject, was changed by his ideals. So in other words, Ramsus was actually a good guy, but why did he become a bad guy? Well, maybe we could explain why they left Solaris, because Solaris was starting to become better, and they still left because they hated it. Why? So why was he wanting to flee from Solaris? We were placed in key military positions by Ramsus, and thanks to that we came to know the relationship between Solaris and the surface dwellers. The lamps, right? They weren't just using us lambs for slave labor. They also selected some of us, like me, to use as subjects in experiments to refine their drugs. Drugs that change people's personalities to make them more aggressive and to draw out their latent abilities. They were using us as human guinea pigs to test their psychological alternation drugs. Human guinea pigs? Experimenting on humans? Yes. For example, drive. That drug and all others like that are used now are byproducts of human experimentation. However, the role of such experimental subjects will not limit to just that. This drive drug is something that anyone in Solaris' army can use? At least anyone in the Guild forces sent to the surface. You're worried about her, huh? I saw some in her room. No. Anyway, using slaves as guinea pigs. How low are these guys? And think about Jujin being a training school for World War II, right? What also happened in World War II? The Holocaust. What was one of the things with Holocaust? Instead of gassing down people, especially Jews and the handicapped and gay people? Well, Nazi doctors and scientists were using slave labor camp people on experiments by making them sick and trying to cure them. Those who weren't cured, they died. Those who were cured, they were put in more illnesses until they died, and then replaced. So it's basically the same shit here. It's kinda controversial. It almost feels like Solaris is like a Nazi Germany. Damn. Ask again, or do you understand? If you ask again, then you guys get the same questions again, and you can pretty much, it's the same thing. Oh, sorry about that. I pressed the wrong button again. Let's just go quickly through this. But yeah, you kind of see there's a lot of, Solaris has a lot of similarities to Nazi Germany. Like you have Jurgen, you have experimentation on humans, which is the same thing that Nazi Germany did in World War II. So there's a lot of similarities, but it's a bit sad. Let's go understand. I didn't get most of it. Old Mason, go reserve the town hall for us. We'll finish talking there. I'm going outside to get some air. I should have been honest with him sooner. It's best not to worry about it. You did all you could at the time. The young one will understand. So yeah, that was a bit of story reveal. So basically this kind of shows that Sigurd and Citan have spent a lot of time in Solaris. Citan is even born in Solaris, but Sigurd is not. Sigurd is a lamb, Earth Dweller. He was brought up to Solaris. He was a test subject, and Citan born in lower level in Solaris. But he is actually Solarian. So let's see that Citan is not from... Citan is actually not from Lahan. He's from Solaris. Why did they end up in Lahan? Well, they see they escaped because they couldn't take it anymore. Just feel like it was just, what it did was kind of crap. Let's find the town hall. Not here, I guess. See, Bart is here. Let's talk to him, maybe. I had no idea Sig had such a past. Are you still suspicious of Sigurd? Well, I mean, it was just so sudden. I kind of expected to hear something different, like that we were childhood rivals or something. That's nothing compared to the story he just told us, is it? So hearing his story has you confused because it was not so simple. The time when he was cooperating with one of Gilbert's generals. Furthermore, behind Gilbert was a culture that you had never even heard of. Hey, what are you picking on me for? No, I'm not picking on you or blaming anything on you. What I'm saying is this. If you think about how he feels, then you should see why he could not talk to you about you till now. Looking at the activities of Solaris towards the other countries until now, it has never gone beyond simply maintaining their own empire or self-preservation. And as you have seen, The military power is immense, so Sigurd was probably thinking ahead. First, he was probably concentrating on taking care of the problems here on the continent of Ignis. Once things were settled here, it would give him a stronger foundation to deal with Solaris later, which is a much better plan than rushing straight into a war he knew he would not win. Quite logical, really. Sounds like you understand one another pretty well. Well, it's not like we are newly acquainted, is it? And we have talked about a lot of things until now where we decided to escape from Solaris. Speaking of that, why did you leave? The Ramsus guy was supposed to be a star of hope or something, wasn't he? Yes, I certainly thought so at first. But then I realized his way of thinking really was not much of a change from the previous system. Basically, the only difference was that whether they stressed people's ranks and class, or their skill. The words had changed, but it's still no different from what Solaris itself had been doing until then. He had no intention of bringing everyone a better way of life. In other words, he's an elitist. I don't think I like him much either. So, Citan, you think I can beat Gebler? Why? Are you planning on fighting them? As long as they're working with Shakan, there's no way around it. The way things are going, I'm sure we have to fight them sooner or later. I suppose so, but even if we are to defeat the Gebler forces here, there's still Solaris to deal with. If we are not careful, it's possible we may get involved in a longer war than that with Shakan. Do you agree that continuing the way we have been going is rather hard on everyone? I think it's time we try to get help from a greater number of people. So defeating Shakan not going to get rid of the likes of Gebler. I know what you're trying to say. To vanquish Gebler, first gain thy throne, right? You could put it that way. What do you mean you could put it that way? But then again, maybe this time I did something about that. So there you see, now we know more what Bart wants to do. Bart maybe thinks that maybe the best way to beat Gebler is to first take control of Aveh. I went in the tool shop to borrow a table. The owner said, if you need anything for young master, just ask for it. I'm grateful. When I was a kid, I borrowed stuff from there and got in big trouble. Borrowed? What did you take? A toy boat. I think that what it was. I put fireworks in it and let it float on the cathedral's lake. I always used to play Navy. I'm not sure, but I think I pretended the lake was the open sea. And I was the fleet commander. Anyway, forget those old stories. We should get started. First, Gebler is the big problem. Yes, Ramsus is headed towards achieving his goals. That he is now commander of Gebler is proof of that. A normal man would not progress so quickly through that country's organization. And now he's presently located here in Ignis. Frankly, the situation is not very favorable. We need to somehow find a weak spot and attack it with all our might. First, let us just concentrate on Shakan. Once he's out of the way, and Aveh is safe again, we can think about how to deal with Gebler. With our present strength, we should be able to hold off the Royal Guard forces. The problem is how to deal with Gebler in the meantime. They will most likely move at Shakan's request. I'm not just gonna sit by and watch quietly. May I have a look at there, please? In short, we want Gebler to leave for a while. At least until we're able to take back the royal capital, Bletherick. These are the Gebler units currently in Aveh, correct? The Western Guard. the Royal Capital Defense Force, and units along the front line at the border with Kislev. There are 3 main groups, each made up with a mix of Gebler and Aveh forces. Only 2 of these are very large. The Royal Capital's defense unit and the Kislev border units. The Western Guard along the Nisan border are little more than a surveillance team. In order to recapture Royal Capital, it will be necessary to draw these defense units away from Bledavik. We have some Kislev-made gears, correct? Yeah, we captured some earlier. What if we use those gears to make a raid on the Western Guard, here at the border with Nisan? I see. We'll draw them out by making it look like Kislev is invading Aveh. But the problem is, will attacking the border guards be enough to set the center in motion? To be sure then, Nisan will just have to appear to align with Kislev. If they see it that way, they will certainly make a move. You're saying that you intend to use Nisan as bait? Doc? Shakan is very sensitive to Nisan and Kislev's actions. When Nisan starts moving, he'll probably leave up the Gebler, but... Of course I don't wish to do that from the beginning. Looking at the situation, we have to be willing to go that far. First, we infiltrate into the capital. To take out Shakan, we have to meet up with our agents already in the city. We are forgetting one thing. The frontline units along Kislev's borders. Ah. The main strength of Aveh's fleet is at the battleship Kaifenzel. It has been in service since the reign of the last king. Because of its firepower, the whole unit is nicknamed the Invincible Fleet. I recall yesterday's intelligence report said that the ship is near the border. Damn! That puts everything in jeopardy! Do not feel so down. I simply wanted to see the current distribution of force in the area. In the worst case that they do come, it will not be such a great problem. What do you mean? I have some additional information about Aveh's border fleet. The former Aveh's supreme commander was transferred here. Not really transferred, more like demoted. His name is Vandekam. Vandekam? You don't mean the Vandekam that was in Jugend? The very same. Young one. He's not been able to adapt to the change in tactics, particularly following the introduction of gears. He's a man who will never stray from his depending on large naval guns. You mean he's stubborn? He's all size and no real military power. An excellent target for pirates. Young master, this is not going to be an act of piracy. Just kidding. Actually, the number of gears assigned to the fleet seems to have been reduced. Even with that, how gallant of him to be so self-righteous. He seemed that much of a musclehead. It'll be fun taunting him. Young master. I know. Anyway, Citan, you think he can strike our gear forces? It's not a problem. Even with Vandekam, we have enough forces left to pull out the fate. However, it would not be wise to underestimate our opponents. Well, now that we know what we are up against, here's what we'll do. Apart from our main unit heading for Bledavik, we must keep the fleet at the Kislev border from returning to the capital. So you're suggesting we have another unit? A few effective soldiers to hold off the enemy at bay. A small force is best. A small force? What if Faye leads a group of gears there? Me? Hold on now. There's no reason to involve you in all this. I'll do it. Yes, let me do it. When do we leave? Are you sure? We've come this far. Hey, we're friends to the end now. Speed is everything. You do this as soon as possible. Alright. Tomorrow. I am truly grateful. Faye, Citan. Yeah! There's no way we can lose. No one will die in vain. Well put, young master. That's quite the plan, at least. So Faye's gonna be in charge of his own unit, and Bart's gonna head to town. Good morning! What with the long faces? Not feeling well? Are you feeling sad about saying goodbye? Maybe you're just nervous? Shut up, stupid! Don't bug me! Hehehe. Well, it's almost time. Yeah. Is everyone ready to go? I'll be waiting here, so let me know when you're through preparing. So, we're gonna do a little split. So next episode, we're gonna have Faye gonna head over to the Kislev border to hold off the fleet at Kislev, while Bart and the rest head to Bledavik to capture Bledavik from the forces there, and they should be able to take it, and everything should be fine. Right? Right? Well, hopefully, but shit might happen. You never know. Anyway, that'll be it for this episode. Next episode, we're gonna initiate the plan, and then we'll take it from there, and hopefully things will go as smoothly as possible, but obviously, it won't. I won't say more than that. It's going to be very dramatic. It's going to be quite interesting, and it will take a little of a different turn than everyone had expected. But don't worry though, we won't be dying. No one will be dying in a way. It's just that we will be a bit split, to say the least. So we'll see how it goes. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. That's it for now. See you next time as my journey in Xenogears continues.